Hello. So this week I want to try something a little bit different. I took a last minute emergency trip to my hometown. So obviously going back to see family. And of course that comes with all kinds of memories. And a lot of the structure of our relationships, how they are now, are definitely Jehovah's Witness influenced. And since some of you have asked, my parents are still in, are my siblings still in, did anyone else escape? I thought this would be a good time to just combine all that together and catch you guys up. Okay, where to start? Before I start, I wanted to share a quick video with you, well, a link. I'm going to throw it down in the description. For any of you not following Vinny Vincent, and you should, Vinny has some inside information in regards to the governing body action figures that are going to be coming out. I think he said 2021. And the new glassware, collectible glassware, that I think should be launched summer this year, I think. He has some inside information on that, and you guys should definitely check it out if you haven't already. So, as I mentioned, I wasn't sure what kind of video I was going to do this week. Well, I had something planned, and I was going through my list of things planned, and I had it narrowed down, but I wasn't feeling very motivated. It's hard to do anything if the governing body's not there to hold your hand. I don't know where this video is going to go. Let's just wing it. So aside from my husband and my kids and you guys, no one knows about this channel. I am keeping it on the down low for a reason at this time. And that reason is my mother. We have had a very bumpy is a cute word. Bumpy, shaky, splintered relationship. And our relationship basically splintered when I left, when I got kicked out, and eventually ran away from home. But I think we already covered that in another video. Over the years, our relationship got better, and then it got worse. I'm sure she has her own opinions as to what occurred. I know a big part of it is the fact that she was a Jehovah's Witness and had to guard her children from me. And as much as she loved me, had to guard her from me. I have been back and forth on telling this story because I want to speak positively about my mother and where our relationship is now, but that's hard to explain without showing where the relationship has been. So when I was an adult, I'm just going to jump into it. I'm procrastinating. My parents were definitely abusive parents. My father's tactics were more along the line of being old school. And this is what my father did to me, so it must be okay. He and I have had many conversations, I mean in the last, years, over the things that he wished he had done differently or just didn't know to do differently. My mother was more fly off the handle, and she often categorized herself as being a little nuts. Nobody's arguing. And I'm not telling this story in the light of making her look bad, but I tell this story to give an idea of the circumstances, and you can't change history. Even if she's not that way now, we can't change what's already happened. So let me just get into it. I no longer lived at home. I was raising my own family. I received a phone call from my sister who was younger than me, who also was an adult but had moved back home. Our two youngest siblings still lived at home. My brother was, I want to say 14 at the time. So my sister maybe was 7. And I received a phone call from, okay, we're about to hear a story about how stupid indoctrinated I was, even though I wasn't in. So I received a frantic call from my oldest sister, the oldest of my youngest siblings, saying, you need to get over here. Mom's lost her mind. I'm gonna kill her. You need to get over here now. So I go over to the house, And my brother and sister are out on the front porch, and they proceed to explain to me, very upset, they were having a great night. Everybody's laughing, have a really good time. My brother was doing the dishes, and we always had big cast iron frying pans that, if any of you know, when you wash them, you throw them on the stove on high to dry them. While his back was to her and he was doing dishes, my sister was watching from the sidelines, just chit-chatting. As the story goes, my mother picked up the frying pan, looked at it, looked at my brother, walked up to him, and thought it would be hilarious to push it up against his bare arm. Hilarious! He starts screaming and cussing. She throws down the pan and starts yelling at him for using that kind of language in her house. My sister freaks out on her, a huge fight occurs. I think my mom escaped with her life that night. And the very quick version of it is this. I went inside, can I please take the kids? Why did it never occur to me to call the police? I'll let you figure that out. Can I please take the kids? She said, you can take him, you cannot take the little one. I'm begging her, just for the night, just so everybody can cool down, clear their heads. Again and again, you can take him, you can't take her. At one point I start crying, begging her, just let me take the kids for the night. With absolutely no soul in her eyes, she refuses. At one point she grabs my young sister around the neck. You are not taking her. So I did what anyone would do. I called the elders. Hadn't been in the church for a decade. No, really. So I called the elders. Hey brother, this is Cass, last name. We really need your help. Here's the situation that we're in. And he says, I really don't know what to tell you. We can't involve ourselves in family matters. Since when? Is this brother so-and-so? Yes. You were in my judicial committee? Yes. That had me removed from my house because you thought I might be a disruption? Yes. But you don't get involved in family matters? Well, you know, Cass, I'm not really sure what you think I can do. You know, this is a matter for your mother to handle. Did you not just hear how she handled it? I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, neither one of us were being very logical at that point in time. I'm not even sure why I was still talking to him. Can you talk to her? No, I can't do that. So this just isn't, we don't handle family matters. Guess whose brain switched at that point in time? You filthy mother, blah, 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 and ensued something like that. Needless to say, we didn't take my brother the next day. However, it occurred to us that we didn't need permission to call the authorities. Idiot! So the next day we did call CPS. In any case, I did not agree with my mother's parenting tactics. That little splinter continued over time. I had a lot of resentment toward her and a lot of anger. Founded anger. Before that, we were very close. I literally spoke to my mother every day. The more I shared my feelings with her, the more she became victimized in the sense of, my children hate me. And we have been in that position for years. After a lot of therapy, I've changed my approach with her. I've set boundaries. We've had very open discussion about those boundaries. And slowly that relationship has been repaired. But I will only have that relationship if it is honest and healthy, and obviously on my terms. So that's the place that I've been at recently in trying to repair and heal that which has been broken. And I do this for me because I don't want to hang on to the garbage. You'd be surprised how many do. So we were on this path of healing when over the summer of last year, I stumbled on to some YouTube channels and eventually decided to make content myself. I realized very quickly that this will completely destroy all of the work that I have done to repair our relationship. So I decided after the first few videos, not to tell any of my brothers and sisters about it, a bunch of gossips. The reason for this is because one of my children are getting married in about 2 months. And I decided to fly my mother down for the wedding, and so that we could continue working on our relationship. And here's the selfish part. I know that when she discovers any kind of activism, just as she felt when I was 17, 18, and 19 and disagreeing with their principles, this will eliminate any chance of our having a relationship. I'm okay with that. It's sad, but I'm okay with that. Here's why. I can't control what she chooses to do. I also refuse to not be transparent. My happiness for years is to be me. And if that includes telling stories of my childhood and saving a handful of people from the same fate, then I have to do that. That's my choice. She has the choice to accept or reject that, because we know there's no gray area there. On top of it, that last little bit that I need in myself to be free of all the baggage and strain in our relationship is this close to just, it's right there. And I want that resolved before this comes out. So if she chooses to cut me off because I make videos to support other survivors of abuse, other cult survivors, I want that to be the only reason she has. None of this other miscellaneous stuff, none of this bad blood between us that's almost gone. That this apostasy is the only thing that she can use. And while I don't like it, that is her choice. Long story short, eventually everyone got out. Except for my oldest brother, who is a very devout Jehovah's Witness. My mother is an extremely active witness still. And her and my brother, of course, are pretty close. Got that JW bond. My dad, on the other hand, while I am 100% sure he completely believes, he definitely would be considered inactive. So my mother's in Arkansas, 2 brothers in California, a brother and 2 sisters in Arizona, and me here. Now, I would like to say that we're close. It is a little bit harder for me to be closer to the kids that were raised after I moved out. But in one way or another, all of us are linked together. And as I said, I would like to say close. As close as a Jehovah's Witness family can be. So about a week ago, there was some drama going down back in my hometown. And I do feel like there's a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos in families that were raised Jehovah's Witness. And there's a couple reasons for this. Jehovah's Witness families are not as close as non-Jehovah's Witness families. As children, you're somewhat pitted against each other. You're spying on each other, sometimes holding things over each other's heads. You are trained to think for self, your salvation. Of course, spying on them and telling on them is for their salvation. But ultimately, I feel that just drives a wedge between people. We definitely had a lot of commonalities that kept us together. Our household was a us versus them mentality. You know, the JW way. In that it was us kids against us parents. Duh. We would be hard pressed to tell on each other. Our parents were definitely aggressive and had no clue what they were doing. And the governing body didn't have the best advice either. So that's one reason why I think Jehovah's Witness kids tend to not, or siblings, families tend to not be close. The other reason is because you are taught in the blink of an eye to shut any emotion down when necessary. In order for you to survive through the Great Tribulation and Armageddon, the resurrection, I can never remember the order it all goes in, but You know what I mean. You have to be able to shut down your emotion in order to shun someone so they don't take you down with them. Nobody really talks about this. The lack of emotion that you are required to have in order to not be in tremendous pain. In order to easily be able to shun, you need to be able to turn off your emotions. I see this evident in my siblings today. When in crisis, they do not bond together. Instead, it's each man for himself. They then try to recruit any other sibling to be on their side. Now, I know my brothers and sisters, and I know how much they love each other and care for each other, but it doesn't take much. I would just say there's a lot of anger, which comes from fear and sadness and abandonment, and sadly, they take it out on each other. And so at this point, I have one brother who's not speaking to two sisters not speaking to one brother. A lot of antagonizing going on in the background. And I told my husband, I know we said we'd never go back, but wouldn't they shit themselves if we showed up at their door? I just feel like they all need a hug. So, with very little planning and people who know me, I'm a planner. There's that little piece of me inside that loves counting time because I like to keep track of things. Maybe that's why I like to keep track of things. So this became our mission to go visit the ex-JWs that need a hug. Trip did not go very well. No, I take that back. Trip went amazing. What should have been a 12-hour drive became 23. Ongoing joke. You know when you're a witness and anytime something goes wrong, it's because Satan's trying to stop you? Jehovah really did not want us going and visiting these other ex-JWs. We inched our way through a huge snowstorm, and this kind of storm. Oh, and then this happened. Apparently Jehovah doesn't want us to make it there. So what are we waiting for?
Tow truck.
We are 50 miles outside of Ely, Nevada, and Jehovah blew our tire because he does not want us to go and spread love to other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, true that.
We are waiting for a tow truck that is going to charge us an arm and a leg. Unless I don't know, they might like Italians. Yeah. You might get us a discount.
Third leg.
We did flag somebody down, but for some reason they didn't want to give us a ride. They said that their car was too full. Well, I think this was the real problem.
Could be me, could be her.
Wasn't me. Thank you, Jehovah. In addition to trying to get everybody to have love, peace, and joy, and harmony again, I also wanted to feel them out. Let me go back and correct. One brother does know about this channel. It went down like this. I want to do a new intro for my videos. Let me look for some old Jehovah's Witness pictures of us. Who is this little boy getting baptized? Send. My brother texts back, why do you have a picture of me in a cult? Then he proceeds to start blowing up my phone. Hello? Sister! I'm actually going to do this like 10% of the volume and energy in which he speaks. He's just a really passionate person. Sister! Oh my God! Where'd you get that picture from? That's when I was getting baptized. Yeah, I know. Oh my God! Did you know we were in a cult? Did you know it was a cult? It's a cult. It's a cult. I mean, I knew it all my life. I knew my whole life. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, my whole life. Did you know? Did you know your whole life? Well, you know that's why me and Mom kind of parted ways when I was about 7. Yeah, it's totally a cult. I'm telling you right now. 17 years old. And oh my God, let me tell you, it's a cult. It is a cult. Me and my other brother talk about it all the time. Like, all the time. Like, we watch, like, did you watch that Lee Remini special? Do you know who that is? I've heard of her, yeah. Totally breaks it down. So yeah, it just like freaked me out when you called me and you showed me, when you sent me that picture. I was like, what the hell is this? You know, I've had opinion on it for a long time, but no, I can't say that I didn't think it was the truth, because I did. Oh, I totally knew, yeah. So If he ever watches this video, he's gonna kill me for that impression. I love you, brother. That's kind of how you sound sometimes. That's sometimes how you sound. Let's just say I'm exaggerating. He's got a lot of passion. He actually has it's a little bit higher shrill, but I don't want to freak out the neighbors. Needless to say, a little bit of my ego got a little, I was like, hey, can I tell you something? You got to keep it to yourself. Swear to Jehovah, habit, or whoever, you can't repeat it. I don't want mom knowing. Yeah, sister, whatever it is, you know, sister, that's fine. What do you want? What's going on? Well, you know how I've always done writing and articles and things like that. Yeah, totally. What's up? I kind of wrote a couple of things in regards to how we were raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. No, that's cool. No, that's cool. That's great. I support you 100%. Yeah. And then I kind of made some videos. Like, I don't know, brother. It's kind of a cool thing. I just don't want anybody to know yet because I want to patch things up with mom first. Oh, why? No, you just send it to her. Send it to her. Yeah, that'd be great. No. I want it on my terms, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, he knows. I have another brother who's openly told me he watches a lot of apostate videos. He's a huge John Cedars fan. God, last year sometime he was like, you should listen to this guy and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I've heard of him. But I haven't told him about it because you can't, that's how secrets get out. I probably shouldn't even told the one brother because the rule of the world is one person always has to tell one person, who's only going to tell one person, who's only going to tell one person, and eventually my mommy will find out. And that was stupidly dangerous for me to do. So we get finally to Bullhead City, Arizona. We make a little trip right here. Here's my old congregation.
It's actually a nice building. This one you built in 24 hours?
We built it in 23.5 hours. Okay, I didn't build anything. I served hamburgers. It made the paper, of course. But it was a big deal back then. You know, when they were building congregations, not tearing them down and merging them. So I knew how my one brother felt. In fact, he gifted me quite a few books to add to my collection, which I thought was really cool. So then I proceed to my next sister's house. Knock on the door. I'm not going to bore you with how we surprised her, blah, blah, blah. She's all excited. And so I start asking her questions, you know, did you ever get baptized? So you have to remember, she's the age of my second child. So we didn't get a lot of growing up together. And my mother, with like a 3-week notice, had plucked her up when she was about 14 and relocated her across the country. So none of us had access to her. And relocated her to Arkansas. If you live in Arkansas, it's a beautiful place, I hear. Beautiful. I'm just terrified of chiggers and ticks. And very large spiders, which my mother says are beautiful, beautiful creations of Jehovah. I'm good. So we haven't had a lot of contact. So I start asking her. Yeah, I got baptized, disfellowshipped, reinstated. What? And she proceeds to tell me how she realized that the elders did not have any Holy Spirit, in that she was still completely worldly and being very naughty, deliberately while she was trying to get reinstated. And despite that, they reinstated her. And she said, it's not the truth. So then I showed her my favorite coffee mug, to which she died laughing and is begging for one of her own. So I knew where she stood. I still didn't tell her anything. I really would like to make it to my daughter's wedding and have my mom come and have my siblings come, because it is likely going to be the last time that we can all get together like that. So I still didn't tell her. Oh, so hard. Go to the last sister's house, who is just under me in age. She was baptized and would be what's called faded. She just kind of disappeared. And we surprise her and we're having a good old time and everybody's interacting, blah, 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 blah. And while I'm cleaning out my car, I have another coffee mug that's one of my favorites, which I showed to her, to which she does this. What is going on? What did you... Me and other sister are laughing, and she's like, show her the other one. The other one's my favorite. Show her the other one. Show her the other one. So I pull it up on my phone. How about this one? What do you think of this? To which my sister says, What the fuck? What is happening? What are you? What are you? Laughing hysterically, peeing herself, but also frantically saying, what are you? We know the word she was thinking. I'm way too much of an introvert to imitate her hysterical laughter mixed with franticness as she's shoving the picture back at me. And I looked at little sister as we're cracking up, and I'm like, and look who's still indoctrinated. We all just kind of laughed it off, but I thought, that's so bizarre. I didn't pursue anything else with my oldest of the younger sisters because I wasn't going to push it, and that wasn't really my purpose of the visit. But man, that blew my mind. I'm going to tell you, she has a great life. You know, she has a great husband. They have 2 kids together. The son is in the military, actively serving. My niece is doing excellent, married to a military gentleman as well. My sister has a good life, but she has not always made the best choices. And again, I reiterate, despite every worldly thing that she's done, there's commandments that she broke that don't exist on those tablets. Basically, think the whole Old Testament. That might have been her. And even now, she's 41. Even now, I show her this picture and the face, the expression. We all know that feeling, like, what are you doing? If I had pulled out a bag of crack, I would have got a more mellow response. If I told her, I'm a prostitute, thought you should know, she'd be like, okay, why? But you pull out this picture. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God. Followed by hysterical, nervous laughter. It was hilarious. It just blows my mind. So, would she ever like shun me or anything like that? No, no. But her heart's still in it. And she made a really good point. The only other time we talked about it was a little bit later before dinner. And she said that the witnesses come around a lot, how she hides from them. She'll like, while she's at work, she'll go out the back door to another building. They like still track her down to the other building. And she basically had to explain to them, and this is key, I thought. No, I don't want to live forever in a paradise on earth. My husband can't be there. He's not a Jehovah's Witness. My children can't be there. They're not Jehovah's Witnesses. All of my friends and the people I've grown to love, they're all going to die, but I'm going to live? No, thank you. So for her right now, just right now, it's still the truth. I remember being in that place. I know there are a lot of people out there that feel this way, that are like, they're out, but still mentally in. She's just accepted the fact that she and her family will die. Because she is gonna die. We're all gonna die. She's just not gonna die in the way that we were told. So I look forward to shining that last little bit of light. If the governing body can have light, I can have light, and getting that out of her head. So that's where I am now. Wedding in 2 months, hoping mom doesn't find out, hoping the one brother can, you know, the one who has this voice like this because he wouldn't let us talk about everything. If he happens to be watching, and I love you. So we had a great trip, made it back, day before yesterday, 12-hour drive, without incident. Jehovah cleared a path for us to come home safely. And that is all I have for you this week. I will get to work on my next content. And until then, I'll see you next time.
I'm on the television!